10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey, good evening and welcome to Gold Fever Radio. Let's see. Craig Carter, you're third. OGRMG Toe. Hey, no, I didn't find my beer. I quit drinking beer, but I do have whatever it is I'm drinking here. I'm drinking sparkling peach cider. That's what I'm drinking there. Oh, I see our guest popped in. All right, cool. Let's see who's all in here. Paul, Machette, you're number 2. Terry Curry, Steve Peasley, hello. Randy's Treasures Adventures. You're going to get Bill out west for some gold. That would be good, huh? David Villa, hello. Let's see what is happening here. Today is Wednesday, May 31st, 2023. You know, there's only 214 days left in this year. And today is National World Parrot Day. It's also National World No Tobacco Day, National World Smile Day, National Flip Flop Day, and National Macaroon Day. Hey, and I've got my macaroons right here, so at least I've got one out of all of them. See, on this day in history, in 1959, Big Ben in London rings for the first time. I always wanted to go to London to see the clock. 1977, the BBC bans the Sex Pistols. God Save the Queen. Let's see. If it's your birthday today, happy birthday. You share birthdays with famous people like Clint Eastwood. He's 93, born in 1930. Brooke Shields, 58. And Leah Thompson, 62. You guys know, some of you guys know we started the prize wheel. It's the metal detector. You can get that information off Gold Fever Radio on the Facebook page. I want to give you a Skype number to see. You guys can call in on the Skype number and see if it'll work. I don't know if it'll work or not. I should have tried. Maybe I'll post that there. 928-255-1977. Let's see if I can post that. 928 255 255 1977. Okay, I was trying to screw with that today to see if that might work or not, that Skype number. I pay for that every month or whatever and never ever use that there. Let's see. I'm going to give away. I'm going to give away this bag of dirt and a sticker. This got gold in it. Remember, I said 10,000 subscribers. I was going to give that something away, so I'm going to do that. So I got a question I'll ask you guys here in a little bit. Let's see. Other than that, so blah blah blah. Yeah, we'll get into other stuff later. But Guy, Carl, Don G. Welcome, guys. Let me grab our guest there. We have a guest tonight. Let me pull him in there into the stream there. There we are. Ta-da! Hello.
How are you?
Hey, all right. How you doing?
I'm pretty good, and you? I'm glad to be here.
Why don't you introduce yourself to everybody that don't know you?
All right. I'm Bill Ladd. I have a YouTube channel, Dig Fellas. I turned that YouTube channel into a TV show briefly on the Travel Channel. That's my 15 minutes of fame, I guess.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. What's your YouTube channel's name?
Dig Fellas. Instead of Good Fellas, it's the Dig Fellas.
All right, the Dig Fellas. Is that all the stuff you found? Is that your museum behind you?
I am in my treasure room, I call it, and there's a lot on the wall behind me. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
So
That's
what's some
one
of,
wall. I've been doing this since I was a little boy, so there's quite a collection down here. You're only seeing a small smidgen of it.
oh. So what's some of your coolest things you found?
But you see a lot of bottles behind me. We do. I started out as a bottle digger. You
Okay.
probably hear the Boston accent too. I'm a New Englander, born in Boston. That's why you're going to hear me drop the R's a lot.
I was gonna say R.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well, I just noticed it when I said digger.
you digger. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, hey, we don't hold nothing against anybody, you know.
Yeah. Everybody's got different accents all around the country. I was lucky to do a little traveling when we were filming and get to meet all the different people and see a lot of states and a lot of different accents, which is pretty cool.
So do you detect or you bottle dump or you what's your main thing you like to do?
Started out in the bottle dumps. That's why I have a bunch of bottles behind me, and I still do a lot of bottle digging because that's what I started out as. But then you kind of branch off. My grandfather had a metal detector, and I got hooked on that pretty good. My first find with my grandfather's metal detector was a silver quarter. So there's another word for you, quarter. Silver
Okay.
quarter, and probably that glint of silver got me hooked.
Okay. So that must be his detector on the wall, your grandfather's.
I another thing I have in this room I can pick up a couple is I collect vintage metal detectors, kind of conversation pieces.
Wow.
But my grandfather's passed now, and I do have the White's machine next to me that we used. I can hold it up if you want.
Oh yeah, that's an oldie.
That's the big lunchbox kind with the dials on it.
Wow. Yeah, that
Yeah.
came out about 1963.
I think it's 80s, no 70s, 70s, 80s. But they took a lot of batteries. They're heavy. They're not ergonomic, but they found a lot of things back then.
Yeah.
And there's no target ID meter or nothing. Just
Just a, uh,
yeah, just
a Geiger
target
counter.
ID. Come a long way since.
Yeah. Let's see. Vendetta prospecting. I see some. You did stick around to see what was this. Oh, you guys bailed out. Oh, you guys talking about something else. Uh, anyways, did somebody call that number and let's see if that number will work. See if you guys can get through on that Skype number 928-255-1977. I'm curious if that number will ring through. So, so you said you kind of got. So how long you been doing it? Since you were just a little boy?
Yeah, my grandfather had me out there probably 9, 10 years old, I think. So that's why the room's full of so many things. And bottles take up a lot of room, so I've started selling off some of the bottle collection. But little things like coins that mean a lot, and I wouldn't want to sell anything like that.
Cool. Yeah, it looks like a fall. You got some old signs there, I see too.
Yeah, the signs come out of the dumps occasionally. So
Wow.
the porcelain signs are worth a lot of money too.
Yeah.
Probably more than the bottles. So, probably more than the bottle. So I love finding signs, but they're kind of rare to find.
So how do you go about finding anything? I mean, you said the dumps. What do you? I mean, you can only go to the dumps so many times, can't you?
Well, I'm in New England, so we got a lot of history here going back to the 1600s. So we seem like we're constantly finding dumps. We just found a construction project just hit another big dump that we're currently working right now. So, if you're always following dirt piles, or, we have so many old houses here that we can, get behind the old houses, river banks. Actually, so many people are metal detecting for coins and metal detecting up all the fields and foundations here. It's almost bottle digging is our main thing pretty much.
I'm going to see if I can answer this call here. Can you hear me? Hey, all right. Look at that. I can hear you and you can hear me. Hey, that's pretty cool. It was just, huh? Hey, that is good. Can the guest hear you too?
I can't. No,
You can't hear? Okay.
no,
Uh,
just
we don't.
just hear you, not the caller.
Okay, so we don't know how to incorporate that yet. It said add participant. Add. I don't know what that means. Maybe something else. Oh, no, that's not add to the call. Okay. Hey, all right. I was just curious if this thing would work, man. Hey, appreciate. Yeah, it's low. I got to figure out how to turn this volume up on this here, but it is lower. But hey, at least I know that it'll work through. So that's a starting point. But hey, thanks for calling, man. Okay, take care, man. Okay, see. Okay. Uh, cool. Uh, all right. Let's see. John Quist. He had a 5 DB. Found a lot of silver with it only because everything was not overworked. All we
Yeah,
hear.
he's
That's
talking about the same kind of whites machine. That's a 4 dB that I held up.
oh.
My grandfather's was a 4 dB, and then I got a 6 dB when I got a little older. So the whites machines were the ones to buy back in the 80s.
Wow. That's whites were around a long time, man.
They sure were. I got one on the other side of the room. That's like a big giant one from the early days, the 60s. They
Oh,
all took so many batteries though, and was so heavy.
yeah, Ted, it works, but not on the air. Yeah, so at least I got a starting point, but if nothing else, I can hear. So, uh, Ted, Richard Duke, hello. Uh, so you said you just started selling some of your stuff, or do you keep 4DB? Never heard of those. So,
The 4
so what
dB
you?
is the whites I held up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Never heard of one of those. Uh, so how do you go about? So do you got like you look on Google Earth, or do you just go knock on somebody's door? How do you know where to go on these bottle dumps? I mean, like I say, how many times can you keep going to the dumps to find this stuff?
Yeah, like I said, being in an older part of the country, they seem to, a lot of these dumps are pretty large too. I've got a dump that's we call the landfill that has been producing for years. So unless they build something on it, is a place we can always go back to. And I guess I've gotten maybe the eye for finding them now. We've got a lot of rivers here, and rivers cut through the whole state, and riverbanks seem like a convenient place to, back your cart up and dump down the riverbank and hope the trash rolls into the river, out of sight, out of mind. But the riverbanks, we find a lot of bottles and treasures. I just, like I said, the dumps produce other things too. We find a lot of relics in the dumps, the signs you see behind me. I just found this in the dump bottle digging the other night.
Holy
It's an
mackerel!
old gun. Yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean,
That's,
you never know what's going to roll out of a dump. And why would someone throw this away unless it wasn't firing, or is it a murder weapon? You never know, right?
yeah, it had to be a murder weapon. They threw it in the trash.
That's what I think. Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
with the body.
interesting.
Yeah, see if you can get a see if
haven't
you can get
haven't seen a Thank God I haven't seen a skull roll out yet.
yeah. Uh, so can I just like go to my city dump then? And so what do you do? Just grab a rake and start tearing in there or something?
Pretty much, yeah. We use the long, what they call potato rakes, and then I bring a backpack with newspaper in it because you find a good bottle, you want to wrap it up at the end. A lot of people just bring a bucket or something, throw all their bottles in, then they get home and they're all chipped and cracked and dinged up.
Oh,
I find a good bottle, a valuable bottle. I make sure I wrap it up, put it in a backpack. We'll have little hand scratchers as well to get around the bottles. And um,
wow.
yeah,
I guess
and
I have to
and
go.
bottles can be pretty valuable. Maybe more than we're in New England where it seemed like everybody wants to find those old copper coins, those old colonial coppers here in New England, and I've found plenty of them. But I mean, couple 200-300 years in the ground does a number on the coppers, and usually you see maybe the trace of a head, and that's not worth anything. Where a bottle can be real valuable, all cleaned up with no chips or cracks in it.
Oh, that's cool.
Like I said,
Yeah.
they take up a lot. They just take up a lot of room. It's almost
Yeah.
like maybe a coin or a button is a easier collection to maintain.
Yeah. Let's see, Jerry Prince. Hello, Trippin' Tommy. Hey, how you doing, buddy? John McAfee, Raphael. Did you find any UFO crash parts? Good stuff, amigo. No, I never went out yet. That plan's coming up. I think this weekend I'm going to go out to a crash UFO site. Well, at least that's what the rumors are. I'm going to see if I can find it and do any metal detecting, see what it looks like. Get ran off by the government or something, you know.
Well,
Scott
that's pretty
Sharp.
cool. That
Yeah, not as cool as digging for bottles though, and finding cool stuff like that, you know.
Well, I'm glad you like it. I mean, I do metal detecting. I probably do 50-50. It's just like I said, it seems like everybody has a metal detector here now. Maybe some of the TV shows like mine influenced and probably YouTube too. Everybody, the metal detecting, everybody's got a metal detecting channel now, and there's metal detecting videos all over YouTube. So that means the hobby's gotten more competition. Everybody's got a metal detector. That's another reason why sometimes going bottle digging, you're getting into a virgin dump and you never know what you're going to find. Like I said, the signs, the guns, you know, uh, porcelain dolls, you never know what's going to roll out of the hole.
But it's surprising that you find that stuff and nobody else has, or you found it before somebody else found it.
Yeah, but also, I mean, like I said, we do have massive landfill dumps, huge dumps that other people dig at. But I mean, if it's the size of a football field, no one's going to get
Oh,
it all unless they go in there with a backhoe.
yeah, that's true. Let's see, Scott Sharp's adventures and prospecting. A lot of adventure people. So how do you know if it's a dump or not? If it's like buried up or covered over?
Yeah, usually there's telltale signs, on top of the ground. Maybe you'll see a galvanized bucket. Maybe you'll see an old white wall tire sticking out of the ground. Maybe an old wagon wheel or a old barrel hoop or something sticking out of the ground. And if you're metal detecting in the woods, sometimes your metal detector goes crazy. And then when you're digging, you see the crunch in the glass and the shards, and
Oh
yeah, then it's game on.
man, I've got to start go digging up my yard.
You never know. Anybody with an older house, a lot of times, we just walk behind. We've got rows of older homes here in New England. They go back to 1700s. We'll just go out and walk in the woods behind these old houses because, again, it's out of sight, out of mind. They didn't have trash pickup. That's the way you have to look at it. You know, you,
Yeah.
you wanted to get stuff out of the way, and some people just dug a big hole in their backyard and buried it all. Other people burned their trash. But if you had like a big gorge or an embankment behind your house, well, there's a good place to, throw all the bottles and trash out.
What about so like on anything to do with that antiquity laws? Does that affect anything back there? A lot of that old stuff you find?
Um, there's a lot of little laws on the books that maybe the archaeologists probably, the archaeologists anywhere don't like anybody with a metal detector to begin with. So, we try to get permission. A lot of the dumps that we find, like the current one we're working, is on a construction site. So we just, we asked the guys if it would be all right to look through the dirt piles after they shut down for the day, and they said, "Knock yourself out, just don't make a mess." You know what I mean? Because the dirt piles are either going to be filled back in or trucked away. So if we can pull out a few bottles before it becomes a parking lot or a strip mall, it's almost saving history, in my opinion.
So is it something like if it's in a dump pile, then wouldn't it be considered like abandoned then or something like that, and then it's fair game?
Yeah, that a lot of times if we get questioned, we just say, "Hey, we're cleaning up the site," and we show them the bottles. You know what I mean? Make it look like you're doing a good deed by cleaning up the glass, or maybe they think you're recycling or something. Again, we equate it to saving history, because otherwise the bulldozers are going to crush all the bottles. And, I've seen a lot of our history, old foundations and bottle dumps get covered up by a strip mall, parking lot, golf course, whatever.
Yeah, let's see, who did I just see? Steve Collier, hello. Raphael found no beer. Yeah, we were out looking for this treasure last week, and I found this old beer can, metal detecting. I couldn't read what it was. Oh, it was a Coors can, but I barely could read it. But it had the old where you punched the thing in.
Yeah.
To open that.
Some of our, what I call the newer dumps, have cans on them, and we actually clean. You can use oxalic or citric acid sometimes to bring the label out of those old cans. There's a few of those behind me somewhere. I don't know if they're on camera or not, but I can hold one up. The citric acid actually will bring the labels out on some of those old cans.
Really?
Yeah.
I better make a note of that. A citric acid.
Citric acid, you can buy it online in a powdery form, and you can, soak anything that's rusty in it. We use it on the signs. We use it on beer cans. There's videos on it. I did a couple videos on YouTube about, cleaning rusty cans or cleaning rusty items with citric acid. And citric acid being, citrus based, is not like other acids that are toxic.
Yeah. Huh. Let's see.
It's
Steve
almost
Wiggins.
a little bit like people who soak things in lemon juice.
Yeah. Kind of, that type of acid.
Yep.
We've been looking for gold treasure since the value known as Steve Wiggins. Minuteman Adventures, welcome guys. I also found an old Coke can too once upon a time, but unfortunately both that Coke can and that beer can, I always have a habit of putting my pick through them.
Yeah, well, that happens to us too. I guess you got to be careful.
Well, you don't know what it is, until you get out of the ground, and then when it's out, and you say, "Oh God, that's really cool. Damn, too bad I put a pick through it."
I was shifting my chair a little bit to grab one of the cans that I cleaned with citric acid. I'll show it to the camera.
Okay.
I just grabbed a couple. All right, so.
Oh, that's cool.
Here's a Budweiser.
Holy crap! I never saw one like that before. Wow,
that's got that thing, the punch in the top that you were talking about.
Well, that's the church key opener. That one's even older.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Yeah. This is probably 40s. I think 40s.
Wow, that's cool.
this is one that came out exceptionally good. You know what in other words, if we're dump digging and we see a trace of a label, then the oxalic acid can actually bring the thing out to look like this.
Wow.
Again, this is one of the better ones.
Yeah.
If I reach down on the ground, I'll show you one that just came out of the ground. This one might be a lost cause because you can only see a partial label there.
Yeah.
So that one, it's got the double punch, probably from the 50s.
Well, that's cool.
But so you can clean rusty cans and turn them into a collector's items with that acid.
Huh. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I do a lot of different stuff. I kind of consider myself an all-around treasure hunter. I do arrowheads. I do a lot of metal detecting. I got some Indian arrowheads in front of me. Here's a quartz point. Here's another quartz arrowhead. It's missing a corner.
Oh.
Yeah, so we have a lot of history here. Indian history. I do fossils, bottle digging. I'm always up to something.
Jason, AU Colorado. Welcome. Xmas beer sales. Let's see. Japan and Brazil for the blind for their beer cans. What else? Pretty nice. Yeah, no, those are pretty cool cans. Man, that'd be cool to have. We don't have that type of history. We had the probably back here, we had the miners and the gold, rush, but that was in the mid 1800s and stuff like that. We didn't have Columbus wasn't here, I don't think, then to have all that cool stuff, like you guys have pioneers.
We do. Well, I always say we're spoiled here. The only other place that would be better than maybe New England is England. The UK or the United Kingdom. England has unbelievable fields over there where you can go and find Roman coins and Celtic coins and all that kind of stuff. But we've got a good history here, though. Like I said, I did some fern fossil hunting recently. I've got we had a lot of fun this winter on a World War I training site that was here.
Wow. Yeah, we've got, I think, Patton, General Patton was over here. That was in like 42. So that's about our history. Old metal cans erupted the wages. Yes, we get some serious rains that destroy our cans here.
Yeah, well, a lot of them, like I said, I held up a lost cause one that's probably not going to clean. I kind of brought it home to try to identify it because I couldn't tell what the label was. That Budweiser can was just one that happened to be in the right soil or in the right conditions where it wasn't that rusty.
Cheers. Yeah, David, cheers. So let me, before I forget, because I always forget, let me play my commercial, take a break, and then you hang with us for a moment, and then we'll be right back.
Sounds good.
Okay, we'll be right back, folks.
ICMJ's Prospecting and Mining Journal is the only monthly gold prospecting magazine published in the United States and is the most comprehensive and respected magazine about gold prospecting on the market today. With readers in all 50 states, it features articles on detecting, high banking, dredging, small-scale operations, assaying, basic geology, how to read the land, regulations, and more. Our monthly Ask the Experts column is answered by true experts. It features answers to readers' questions on processing, detecting, geology, and any other questions you may have related to finding and recovering gold and other precious metals. The Mining Journal features the most extensive selection of equipment, mining properties, services, and more, and a classified section featuring over 20 times more new and used items than the nearest competitor. The Mining Journal has been in continuous publication since 1931. A full 12 issues is available for just $27.95, and discounts are available for 2- and 3-year subscriptions. And an online subscription gives you access to over 3,000 articles going back nearly 20 years. Our purpose is to teach you how to find more gold. ICMJ's Prospecting and Mining Journal is the tool you need to succeed. It's time to raise your gold prospecting knowledge to the next level with ICMJ's Prospecting and Mining Journal. Give us a call at 831-479-1500 or visit www.icmj.com. That's www.icmj.com.
Hey, well, welcome back, everybody. Our guest is him only, Bill Ladd. Okay, let's see, who did I see come in? Oh, Wayne himself. Well, Wayne. So, like I said earlier, I was going to give away, I've got this dirt bag. It has my last piece of gold in it from the Meadview gold field that I have, the very last one. We're going to give that away here in a moment. And I have the question right here I'm going to ask. Okay, what kind of treasure is that you got?
During your break, I reached for that really old whites. We were talking about how heavy the old machines were. Yeah. This is a real heavy whites machine. Well, you'll like it. It's called the Gold Master.
All right.
That's the Gold Master. That's from the 60s. Look how big this thing is.
Yes.
It took a lot of heavy batteries. And if you can see the side, it says Gold Master.
Yeah, no, that's a nice one.
Yeah.
Gold Master. That's got the same digital flipper meter on it.
Just like you said, it's just a little needle. Doesn't tell you anything.
No. Cool. Does it still work?
If I could find the 8,000 giant batteries, I could probably get it. It took those, those big, what would I like, bunch of these kind of things that you had to fill with batteries. All these battery packs. Yeah, it's missing one of the battery packs.
Oh, you could probably get one of them and solder it in there and make it work or something.
Yeah, it looks like you could get these. A 12-volt pack and a 9-volt pack. So I bet you it would work.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wayne, you got everything, Wayne. I have one like that. Yeah. I've got a couple old ones hanging on the wall. I'm not sure which ones they are, though, but I don't know how old they are, but they're...
That's what I call a lot of mine are just wall hangers that probably don't work, but they're conversation pieces. This treasure room of mine takes up basically half my basement, and I have a lot of guests here to look around, and one of the things they look at are all the metal detectors, even some hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah, I don't have much of a museum in my thing. I just got a bunch of crap.
Looks like some cool vintage stuff behind you, though. I'm into anything vintage. I have a vintage jukebox and collect records. I think I collect too much stuff.
Yeah, no, that's all cool, that antique stuff. But yeah, I don't have nothing. Not here anyway. Over in the clubhouse, there's some stuff like that, but not here. Let's see I had this old army detector one time. There was a big cylinder type thing, and it took all these weird batteries that They were all
Yeah.
destroyed in it, so I end up just so a big flat head on there. Probably
Yeah.
detected mines. Hey, Tad, behave. Uh, Try humping, hiking, M2 50 calibers. The receiver alone is 60 pounds. That metal detector would be a cakewalk, amigo. All right. Okay. Antique detectors. That's right. All work out, but that's why even the 7,000, that 7,000 weighs like 10 pounds to go out there and swing that. You can't swing that detector.
No, it's the new detectors are just a joy, that they're so lightweight and ergonomic now, and I love my wireless headphones and
Yeah.
all that stuff. Wireless headphones are a lot different than these old things, right?
Oh, yeah.
Big old wire getting caught in everything, and
Man,
but
you've got
hey,
some, got some
the
hanging on the
trade-off.
ceiling.
Yeah, I do. I have a couple cheap ones.
Yeah.
One of these, that was like my first metal detector. That little like a little Jetco or something that I got for
Oh,
Christmas.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't use a swingy thingy. I tried them a couple times, but I've got the 7,000. You got that harness and like pack you got to hook onto you to hold
Yeah.
on to that thing because that thing's so heavy. So
Yeah.
what kind of detector are you using now then?
I use the Legend, the Nokta Legend.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Real nice machine for the money.
yeah.
And I'm still learning it too. A lot of settings on it. You pick your frequencies and all that jazz. So pick your frequency, pick your recovery speed, iron filters. There's probably more settings on that than
Yeah.
I'll ever use. But
Yeah, I've got a couple of them legends in here. I sell those.
yeah, they should be good sellers. Everybody, all my hunting buddies have switched to the Legend.
Oh
Maybe
yeah.
they like. I think they liked mine.
Yeah, I've never really played with it too much, but yeah, I've got the legend. And what about like the deuses?
I had the original Deus, and that's another one that's a lot of different settings and stuff. Um, so I ended up selling that and going with I'm kind of sponsored by Nokta, so
Oh,
sometimes having a YouTube channel and a TV show. A lot of times they'll send you a free machine to promote it on your channel or whatever. So
yeah, man. All I get sent to me is these Chinese cheap ones.
yeah.
Hey, Jason,
Well,
I'll give you a
right.
good deal on. I'll give you a good deal on one of them legends, man. I've got two of them. You can
Hey,
have it almost at cost.
hey, if I have another friend of mine looking for one, I'll let you know. Because
Okay,
like I
sounds good.
said, everybody sees mine and then they want one,
Yeah.
or
Oh, yeah. That's the way.
maybe they
Yeah.
see what I'm finding. The headphones are really impressive too. Really nice set of Bluetooth headphones that the lady talks to you when you turn them on and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. Wow. I've never played with that. I generally use the for treasures. I'm generally using the Equinox 800.
Okay. Yeah. I've never used a Mind Lab. I there's some magazine ads and stuff on the wall behind me. I was big into Fisher for a while. I field tested for Fisher.
Okay.
Some of the ads on the wall are Fisher ads. And then I went from Fisher to Garrett sponsored our television show.
Oh,
So
cool.
Garrett sent a bunch of free machines for us to use on television. And then I got hooked up with the Nokta. They were macro before. I started testing some of the macro machines like the Racer and those kind of things. And they seem like they're one of the top companies now. It's them and Mind Lab, and White's is closed, Tesoro's closed, and
Yeah. Well, so it's a good thing you got Garrett. Garrett's pretty good. I hate Mind Lab too. I think they suck. I don't like them at all. They're
but
really a shit. really a shitty company. They really are.
I just, I never, they were talking about sponsoring a season 2 if we ever got one. I'm not going to badmouth them because I've never used one, but I do like my Noctas, and I know them and Nocta are always, battling it out now. Or, it seems like everybody's either getting a Legend or a Manticore or an Equinox. It's those companies battling it out. Where back in the olden days, it was, Whites against Garrett or Whites against Fisher.
Garrett's coming into the thing. They released the the White's 24K, which was a good machine, and then they just released that Axiom, which is the PI machine. So Garrett's trying to jump into the game. They're doing pretty good.
Yeah, I enjoyed using their ATs. I had the AT Gold for the TV show, which worked pretty well. And they gave us that big giant army looking one. What is the ATX?
Yeah, that's heavy.
It is, but I enjoyed playing with the pulse, and it was impressive looking on television.
Yeah, no, Mind Lab won't give me a dealership, so that's why I say they suck.
Okay.
I'm a dealer for Fisher and Garrett and Noctas and Deuses and all of them, but not Mind Lab.
That's weird. Oh, well. Hey, it's their loss then, right?
That's right. They suck. Until they give me a dealership, they suck.
Okay.
You should vent towards the rep versus the company and product since they. Yeah, plus Garrett's are made in the United States. They're a United States company or the U.S. company. So.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's good. We like Garrett.
Yeah.
Charles Garrett himself.
Like I said, I've been sponsored by all these people, so I don't want to badmouth anybody.
Yeah.
You burn a lot of bridges quick by doing that. But again, I'm happy with the Nocta products and promoting them at the present time. So.
Yeah, Nate, I understand, buddy. I understand. You got to do what you got to do, man.
Well, I'm not just peddling detectors, though. I really like them. I like the Legend, and I used the Simplex before that. So, and the racers before that. I had the cruisers and the racers and all those. So I've been stepping right along. I'm not just one of these fly-by-nights that just got a Legend because that's what everybody's buying or whatever. I've been with the company quite a while now. Ever since they broke into the U.S. with that red racer, I think was their first, when they were called Macro, and they broke in with a racer, I believe was the first machine they had here.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they all do what they're supposed to do, and they all find stuff in the ground, and it's like a Chevy or Ford, or it's all.
That's exactly it. You got to walk over it, right? I mean, I used to go out in the field with a bunch of guys. One guy'd have his big Mind Lab, that cost like 3 or 4 times what my Simplex did. And there'd be times when, the Simplex would find the best stuff. And a $300 Simplex was, kicking butt out of all these other machines. But it was just like, it wasn't like the other machines missed it. It's that I walked over it, Like you said, all machines are going to detect metal as long as you got it set right, I guess.
Yeah, it's that. And, you can depend if it's, double D or mono, how it goes into the ground. Because, mono with that spear, you can, if it's down several inches, you could miss that. And somebody else goes right next to you. And, they just happen to be over the target. They're going to pick that up.
Yeah, that's it. What I like doing is we've got a lot of those old foundations they call cellar holes. You can see the videos on my channel. Some of these old foundations go back to the 1600s. But, everybody has maps here, and they've used the LiDAR and the Google Earth and used the old maps, and all these old foundations have been hit for 30, 40 years now. That's why the technology, if you can, you get a faster processor speed or the ability to unmask things in all these square nails, you can open up some of these old sites again.
Yeah, no, I, LiDAR. I can't seem to get LiDAR out here. I think that's only back there, I guess, huh?
Yeah, the archaeologists don't like it because it's letting us find all kinds of old places. But
So
everybody,
how do you get on to find LiDAR?
it's hosted in different states here. Connecticut LiDAR is hosted by UConn or University of Connecticut. So if you did a search on like UConn LiDAR, and it's been on there for years, and it's a good quality. Massachusetts has just released their LiDAR, so it opens up a lot of possibilities because it basically it's a geological program that shows you all the hills and valleys and also the foundations.
Well, I don't. Oh, okay, I hear something that says Phoenix LiDAR, University of Arizona Imaging and
Yeah, that's what
LiDAR.
I'm saying. Like it's hosted by whoever wants to host it.
Oh,
It's
oh,
hosted
okay.
here by University of Connecticut. So yeah, different states will. If you look up the state and then the word LiDAR, that's how I found the Massachusetts LiDAR. I just looked up Massachusetts and LiDAR and found out who was hosting it.
Oh, well, these guys see pricing and more. They want to charge you to go do something with it,
Yeah, there may be states that want to charge you for it. I think Rhode Island, theirs got shut down. I don't know if the archaeologists shut it down or they started charging for it or whatever, but everybody's used this LiDAR for years now. And so that means all these old foundations, you have a hard time finding a virgin foundation if everybody's using LiDAR.
Yeah, no, I want to find, like I say, I want to go find some secret stuff oh crap, with LiDAR.
You
Bring you
can
back.
definitely open up a lot of doors. I mean, like I said, it shows you hills and shows you holes in the ground. It shows you little depressions in the ground. Um,
Treasures?
I don't know. Like I said, it's a geological program that what it does is wipes out all the trees and stuff and just shows you the geological features.
So oh, so I guess it's like, uh, like if I'm looking for cavities and stuff in the ground, that I thought
Yeah,
that
I
was
mean,
like
like
a
for us,
3D.
yeah, it's a 3D thing. We see the square foundations. You just see a perfect square in the middle of the woods. That's something that's man-made, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it works. But it's by removing all the trees and everything, we also can see fence lines, stone walls running through the
Oh,
woods, old trails, you know, um, any feature in the earth you can, and you got to train your eye to figure out what all this stuff is too.
wow. That's pretty. Because like I say,
Yeah,
I've
it's a
talked to this
neat tool for
lidar,
sure. It's unfortunate that everybody's using it.
we can't. Because I've been researching these last days trying to find this lidar because I kind of want to do so. I've downloaded it on my phone, but
Okay.
it's not really true because so like it'll say lidar scanner, and like if I see, so it's like it's it doesn't really. I don't know what it's supposed to do, but it
Yeah,
doesn't.
no, it should look more like just a flat map. Ours has a gray look to it. You can look at online at some examples, maybe some screenshots, but
Yeah,
it shows the old foundations and stuff in the woods, crystal clear, the old stone walls and um, old
yeah.
barns, old roads, all that kind of stuff is visible once you figure out what you're looking at.
what about like Google Earth? I know you can go back in time with Google Earth. You know, go back. I think to like only 82 or something like that.
Yep.
But it's
We use Historic Aerials as a good website. We use a lot because that goes back into the 30s. So we
what's
can
that? Historic.
Historic Aerials. It's a great website.
Okay.
And you should be able to put in like your state and now I don't know our states here in New England. There are aerial photographs that go back to the 30s, so that's really helpful finding places to go.
Yeah. See now, so John says the lidar in New England still shows the holes in the ground left from when the 1938 hurricane uprooted the trees.
Yeah, that's probably correct. There's a lot of times where something looks like a cellar hole, and then you go out there and it's just what he says, a depression in the ground from an uprooted tree or
Oh, cool.
so it's that it's not out in every state. So it was a race here. As soon as it came out in Rhode Island, it was a race to all the foundations. And we got to some nice virgin ones, but I think they've all been hammered by now. But there are a lot of sites out there that maybe don't show up on LiDAR as well. Maybe all the stones in the foundation just collapsed in. And, it doesn't look like that perfect square depression or an obvious one.
But wouldn't it be like, so if you're looking at something and if it's all, like let's say out here, if we're driving along an old road and we see weeds and there's just the fields are full of weeds, growth and trees, and all of a sudden you'll come to, like a big lot that doesn't have nothing on it. So once upon a time there had to be something there for that to all be cleared off like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So maybe my first step, if I would look at historic aerials, go back to the oldest aerial, these are satellite images or whatever. So, it goes back to the 30s, 50s, 60s. And you may see like a roof there or something,
He's a ghost. He froze.
Yeah,
He's
now
gone.
it's gone.
Oh, there you're gone. You're back. Yeah,
okay.
no, you disappeared there for a moment.
That's weird. I saw myself on the screen, but anyways, yeah. So historic aerials might show a barn there or a house. You might see a roof line or something.
Yeah. No, that's very true. So so back in, let's see, New England. So that's the highest. No, that's Maine. What's the highest state?
Yeah, Maine's up there. That's the top of New England. That's the Maine's the cold state up Canada line.
That's where you're at, up in that area?
No, I'm heck no. I don't like Maine. I don't like it's too cold up there. I'm down south and I'm in Rhode Island.
I'm not very good in history in my mapping back there.
That's okay. You got Rhode Island, Connecticut, and Massachusetts down the bottom of New England.
Wherever that's at. I don't even know where New England is.
You have to look at a map later. The Pilgrims landed an hour from me.
Oh, I know where New York is at.
Yep, that's near New York. There's my Boston accent again. I said New York. I'm 3 hours from New York, so
north,
closer to Connecticut. You got to go through Connecticut, which is a big state, to get to New York. That's why it's 3 hours away.
So is that north or northwest?
New York would be west of me, I believe.
Okay, west of you.
Yeah.
No, east of you. New York would have to be east of you.
Southwest. No, east would be the Atlantic Ocean, I think. You'll have to look at the map.
No, east is the West Coast and the East Coast. You're on the East Coast.
I know, but I'm right on the ocean.
Oh, you're
And
on the ocean. Oh.
to get to New York, I go through Connecticut, and then so probably southwest.
Yeah, I get confused back with all those little states out there.
Yeah, it is. It's small. I'm in the smallest state. I can get through the whole state in a half hour. Seriously, it's a tiny little speck on the map, but a lot of history here for sure.
Be looking at this LiDAR. Looks interesting. Yes. I'll be going to try to find LiDAR in my area out here, Tad. If you find it, let me know.
Yeah.
That's how I've been trying to get to see anything. So I have to go try to find this UFO that crashed it. I never heard about it. You know, everybody hears about the Roswell that crashed, but nobody heard about one that crashed out near here a few hours away. So
that's pretty cool. You know, I got contacted after I got my 15 minutes of fame. There was a guy who wrote a book, and it's called shoot, if I could remember it, something about the Greys. The Greys are what they call aliens. I guess the aliens have a grayish color or something like that.
Yeah.
And he wrote this book, and the reason he contacted me was he wanted me to help him find what he called the second Roswell crash. And I had never heard it. You know, everybody hears Roswell and that big famous crash in Roswell, you know, where everything supposedly got cleaned up real quick. But they said there was a second crash somewhere, you know, in that area. And the guy wanted my expertise to help him with a metal detector to go to the second Roswell crash. Unfortunately, it never materialized. I guess he bought a metal detector and went himself. And he claims the government went in there and covered the site with modern trash, as if to like fill in the evidence or something.
Yeah. Yes. Wayne says it takes all day to drive across Texas. That's true. Texas is a huge state to drive across.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at Rhode Island. Look at Rhode Island on the map, and then look at Texas on the map. You see a huge difference. We're a little tiny speck. But you know, I metal detect and do a lot of digging in Connecticut and Massachusetts too. You know, because our state's so small. I'm in between the two very historic states, Connecticut and you know, Massachusetts. So I can be in Boston in an hour.
Well, I was looking on Google Earth where I think this crash site happened at out here.
Okay.
And the when you go back in time, you could see where it looks like they had scraped it all down. You know, so like they got rid of everything and just scraped everything away.
That's what the guy was saying happened at the second crash site in New Mexico. He said they went in, scraped away, and then after they were done scraping away the evidence, they brought in a bunch of modern trash. And you know, they probably didn't want people with metal detectors or digging around there.
All right, Steve, you're up in Kingman. Hey, supposedly this site is just north there of Kingman. So I'll stop by that tourist that that thing on Highway 40, that golf ball looking thing that they say. Supposedly there was like a couple of UFO crashes out in that area. And I guess it stemmed from when that atomic bomb went off in Nevada. And when that thing went off, it killed a lot of VMIs or whatever it put out through there. And that's why these ships were all crashing.
Okay. Interesting.
The states that fit in the New England area can't fit in Texas. Yes, that's probably true.
I think he's right. Yeah. Like I said, I'm in the smallest states. It's tiny.
Yeah.
but it's pretty. It's all water. It's called the Ocean State. It's basically, it's everybody's got a water view. A lot of beaches here, so it's nice. A lot of history, a lot of beaches. I like it here. I don't like snow. I hate snowy winters, but I like the history and the beaches and all that kind of thing.
That'd be nice. I mean, I always say that, I'm in Arizona. I love my heat. I love the desert. I love the brown dead crap. I don't like all that green stuff.
Yeah. One of my Dig Fella episodes on television, we filmed in Arizona. It was Superstition Mountain episode.
Yeah, cool.
Yep.
Yeah. The good old Superstition. I've been in there a couple of times.
Yeah. We didn't find anything, but we filmed some petroglyphs that we found carved into the rocks. Those kind of things were really cool too.
Yeah. Well, next time you make it to Arizona, you have to come out here and hunt some stuff out here.
Definitely will. We didn't have time to do any, looking for nuggets or any of that, which we don't have any of that here.
Yeah. Well, I'm at this historic area where I'm at. It's an old campground. And so it was like homesteaded in the mid 80s. And then they had an old stage stop on there, very short-lived stage stop. But there's a lot of old tin cans and, find some old square nails, things like that around here. But haven't found the mother lode yet.
Yeah. Well, it's fun looking, that's for sure. That's why they call it treasure hunting.
Yeah. So do you do this full time, or do you have a regular job and this is a hobby?
I had to quit my job when I had the TV stuff going because you're on the road. To do an episode for television, you go to a state and you film for a week. So, maybe for a year or two it was my job, but now once you're not on television anymore, you got to go back to the real world and find a job. So luckily my friend started a painting company, a real successful painting company. So I paint for him, and I can paint part-time and still do a lot of treasure hunting.
That's cool.
Yeah.
No, that's always cool. Yeah, so still do so, but the sad thing is you still have to work.
Well, that's it. I made a lot of money. Probably the most money I made in 1 year was when I was on television, and probably the year of my life. But the 15 minutes of fame ends, and then you're just back to the real world.
Yeah, I look forward to where I can just retire and just travel around and just relax, do YouTube videos, and just smoke cigars.
I think when I retire, I would probably be digging and fishing every day, probably.
Yeah, well, hey, all you got to do is do it. Do it while you can.
Yeah, that's it. While you're young, right? You want to see a cool find I just held up?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
This is World War II little practice bombs we were finding, smoke bombs.
Wow.
They're empty. It had a little charge in the bottom that smoked. These were dropped out of planes on targets. And we spent the winter finding a whole bunch of these because we found out where the target was located.
Wow.
We found this slab of cement, and we imagine that they probably painted a bullseye on it back in World War II, and the planes were flying over, and they're dropping these smoke bombs, for target practice, trying to hit the cement target. And we were finding these things all around the cement. So in other words, the ones that missed went straight into the ground like that. And we were finding them all pretty much straight in the ground. Some of them tilted a little bit.
That's in good shape.
Yeah. This one I treated with some evaporust.
Oh.
There's something you might want to write down. Some people that do electrolysis, we use this product called evaporust. and it took all the rust off it, and the thing's perfect. And it's not re-rusting.
Yeah, we call them bottle rockets out here.
Do you find them out here? I mean,
No,
you found
no.
Okay. Well, I did some videos on it. There's some YouTube videos of us digging those things up, and I got all kinds of comments. You don't know what you're doing. That's gonna blow up, and this and that.
Oh. Dennis says, didn't think he saw your guest TV show. What was that on which show? Which episode?
It was Dig Fellas. We were on the Travel Channel. We only did like one season, but you might be able to find Dig Fellas on YouTube. They had some of the episodes people put on YouTube and stuff.
Okay. Probably a P-51 Mustang, Dennis said that thing was. I don't know what that is. Some bomb.
I thought it was a M something or other, but he might be right.
We out here near the Kingman area. Well, from Kingman, I think is where they housed all the planes. But then going back over towards like Havasu, Lake Havasu area, it's a meteorite field, but out there it's full of 50 calibers because they just shot the hell out of the desert practicing, I guess. So we find a lot of 50 calibers in the clips and stuff like that.
I think if I lived out that way, I'd be a meteorite hunter. I was always thought pretty fascinated with that. I guess you're always fascinated with what you don't have, right? I've always been into Civil War relics because we don't have Civil War here. We have Revolutionary. So, I've done road trips down to Virginia to find like Civil War bullets and stuff like that. I guess you're always intrigued by what you don't have.
Yeah. So generally people from the West Coast want to come out here and people from the East Coast want to go over there, vice versa.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe you get bored of the same old stuff. Maybe that's why I have so many hobbies. I might be bottle digging one day and metal detecting the next, and finding fossils the next day or Indian artifacts. I go from whatever I feel like doing or whatever the hot thing. You got to go with a hot hand. When you have a construction site where they're pulling out all kinds of valuable bottles, then you go with the construction site until the construction's all done.
Oh, yeah. So, Ted, you said that they've done some on Bill Williams. How are you finding that stuff? How do you know what you're looking for? Dennis says, Dig Fellows, ?
Dig Fellas, D-I-G, like instead of good fellas, Dig Fellas. All one word, Dig Fellas.
Okay.
You probably run into my YouTube channel because my YouTube channel was called Dig Fellas. I might be the first one to turn a YouTube channel into a television show. I must have been doing something right.
Yeah, we talked about that, Raphael. We were going to do a travel thing. Somebody was on the show from there a long time ago, a while back. We talked about putting tours together where we could do an exchange program. People here can go back there, and people there can come out here. Here you come look for gold here, and there we go look for Civil War.
That's not a bad idea. I've hosted a lot of people from all over the place. People from Florida like to come here because there's not, they have no chance of finding any colonial history down there.
Yeah.
And like I said, I've done a lot of road trips to Virginia because I like Civil War stuff. But cool. Virginia people want to come up and hunt with me because we have Revolutionary War.
We never have nothing out here. We just got
gold. You got gold and you got meteorites. That's what I'd be targeting.
We got gold and meteors. Yeah, I got a meteor. That I do have, I think.
Aren't some of them worth millions, or is that got to be a giant one?
Yeah, it's got to be a giant one. Let's see if I can find my meteorite here. See, a lot of times we get, like when you're out looking for gold, you find stuff like this.
Fool's gold? No.
These are just like pieces of hematite or magnetite.
Yeah, we call them hot. We have that here.
Yeah, they're hot rocks.
Yeah,
but a lot of people sometimes think because they're highly magnetic or magnetic, depends if it's magnetite or hematite, but people will sometimes think that it's a meteorite. This is a meteorite.
Okay. Oh. But is the difference it sticks to a magnet or something? Is that how you tell the difference?
Yeah, they do stick to a magnet. Thought I had a magnet around here someplace, but maybe I don't. They're highly magnetic. Well, most meteorites are magnetic. You could probably find some that might be just all kind of nickel or something that's not magnetic, but I guess I don't have a magnet here. Wow, how weird. You would think I'd have a magnet here. But anyway, so that's meteorite. And I was metal detecting out there in the desert.
Yeah.
I had a target, and then I did get it out of the hole, and the target disappeared. I couldn't find the target anymore. So I just said, I guess it was like a ghost target. So I started filling the hole back in, and then I noticed it was stuck to my pick.
Oh, all right.
But yeah, they're kind of rare. There are, there's certain areas where they say where the meteor came in, where people go out and they find a lot of meteorites where they hunt them at, but they've kind of been hammered and, but they're still there.
Cool.
Clodhopper, there wasn't anything Civil War about that war. Jack, you found some treasures for idea. Come out to Colorado. I have a site that's about 15 miles from my house. It's a huge meteorite site. All right, Wayne, there you go. Okay.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, you have to come to the West Coast. This is where it's at.
I think meteorite hunting's big in like New Mexico and stuff.
Yeah, they have this area out here is called Franconia.
Mm-hmm.
If you like ever Google or whatever Franconia area, Franconia had a huge. There's a lot of history about the Franconia area and the meteorites, the big strewn field of the meteors in the Franconia area.
Yeah,
that's a pretty big, popular area where people go out and hunt for meteors out there.
Pretty cool. Nice.
Yeah, so come on out. I'll take you out meteorite hunting.
That'd be fun. Like I said, we don't have it here, so it's always intriguing when you don't have any access to something. And I've done my share of bottles and Revolutionary and all that stuff.
That's the meteorite field, and all them dots are where the meteorites have been found at.
Okay. But with those kind of maps, is that why these places are hammered?
Yeah, but it's just like gold. You can't get it all. I mean, you're talking a little chunk of meteorite, and this is the area where all them 50 caliber bullets are at all over the place. So,
okay,
and yet you still find all these 50 caliber bullets everywhere every time you go out. So
yeah,
there's still meteorites out there, but like everything, they get harder and harder to find, but they're still there.
Can they spread outside those boundaries?
I'm sure they can. Yeah, they just kind of probably estimate where the majority of them are at. But
yeah,
I mean, I would never guessed where I found that meteorite at. That a meteorite came through there. Does that mean there's any more there? If there's one, you would think there'd be more.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah, Gold Basin is another big meteorite area field out there where they find a lot of meteorites out there for some reason. That's
Yeah.
going towards Nevada. Uh, so so get on out here to the West Coast, man. We got a lot of stuff going on out here at the West Coast.
I'll try. It's
All right, hey,
it
let me
was
give
easy.
away. Huh?
I was gonna say it was easier when the television was flying us out there for free.
Oh yeah, I bet so. Was a 4 to 5 pound meteorite found in Franconia, Virginia too? Wow, that'd be cool finding something like that. That'd probably be, something like you've got the meteor crater up in Arizona, where that big meteor came through, and people find those meteorites around there. Those ain't worth anything because there's just so many of them.
Okay.
It's when they're more rare, that you find where they become more valuable. So some meteorites are more valuable than others are.
Okay.
So, okay, I'm going to give this away. This bag of dirt. It has a little gold nugget in it that I've got from up there in the Meadview area. I'll even give you a sticker, throw that in there too. So I got to ask this question in the chat room. The first one that answers this in the chat room to my likings. On a past show, somebody said, your hat's bigger than mine. What and who? Give me that answer. The first one will win that. Can win that. Yeah. Okay. Now I got to try to keep. Can you see the chat room? Anybody talking to you or anything?
I can't see it because I'm on my phone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's easier for me to use my phone when I do these kind of things from my treasure room. My laptops don't hook up to the Wi-Fi very well because I'm in the basement.
Gotcha.
But I like how you're putting some of the things, highlighting some of the questions and putting those up. You can always do that if you see something.
Yeah, if I see somebody do something up there. Somebody said it went through a roof in the doctor's office. Yeah, that would hurt. Chris C, Super Dave Osborne. Nope. Do I got to give you the question again? God, I thought, see, this would really tell who really, your hat's bigger than mine. Somebody said that. There's your hint. Who said it and what were they talking about or why did they say that for? I should have took out the little clip of that to did that afterwards. But I just thought to see who really pays attention there. Every now and then. You told Chris that. No. Robert. No. Hey, John. Good to see you there, John. How you doing, John? Did you get your eyes fixed, John? You all taken care of now? So you'll be coming back out here soon, huh? See, nobody's going to win that, so I'll have to save it for another time, I guess. We'll do it again. Me when I was camping there. No, see, you guys don't know that. Okay, so I guess nobody's going to guess that. If somebody sees it before I say what it is, then I'll give it away at another time. You're so full of yourself, then you called yourself out. Ah ha ha. So you say when you bottle dump, you take one of them potato rakes. That's the one that's only got like 3 prongs or something on it.
The long handle ones, yep. Yep. That's the main tool, but like I said, you want to have a hand scratcher as well, a smaller size. And maybe you shovel. A lot of time you're shoveling your backfill out of the way, so probably a shovel and those other 2 claw tools is pretty much all we use.
No detectors in those places?
They're just full of iron, so we've tried it before. Every once in a while you can pluck out a coin or a button, but it's usually just so much metal it makes the detector go crazy.
Can't you like notch all that junk out?
It's massive concretions of iron, so you're pretty much unless it's a cleaner site. It the last site is, we do a lot of embankments. Sometimes the embankment dumps are steep, and we have a lot of landslides we have to look out for. My shovel got buried. My favorite shovel got buried in a small landslide when we were bottle digging. And I thought, oh, I'll just bring my metal detector back next time and find the shovel head under the dirt. Well, it was easier said than done, because it was just picking up, there's barrel hoops and metal concretions and pipes, and you think of it, it's everybody's garbage. So it's finding that shovel was not happening.
Yeah, that's kind of what we run into, a lot of that old rusty pieces of metal shards just all over the place.
Yeah.
One more on the 15th, huh, John? Well, good luck, buddy. I think towards the end of the month, I'm going to go to Colorado and do me some dredging. Spend the last week in June. Go up and dredge.
It sounds cool.
Reserve my spot, please. You got it, John. It's there with your name on it, man. We put a permanent marker over there. We ought to just put a sign right there that says John's Place, Big John's Place. I know what's his name was getting a lot of gold up there. Man, he said he left with 3/4 of an ounce of gold, I think he said. Jack, you said it to Chris Allen and his 10-gallon hat. Nope, that's not the one. So I'm going to tell you guys what it is, and then we're just going to have to save it for maybe next week's show or something like that. The answer I was looking for was on a past show. It was Mike Pung. And Mike Pung said to me, because we were both wearing Santa Claus hats, and he said, your hat is bigger than mine. That's the answer I was looking for. So nobody got it. So we'll save it for another time. All right there, Bill, we're going to let you go. We're going to wrap things up here. I know it's getting late for you back on the East Coast there. So
a little bit.
but before I let you go, I got to ask you one last question.
Sure.
Somebody kind of starting out in this hobby, maybe wanting to kind of do what you're doing, bottle dumping or looking for stuff. What's probably one of the best piece of advice you would give anybody?
One of the big piece of advice I give now, because of all the competition, is don't be afraid to knock on a door. The untouched sites are the virgin sites, the private property. So I'm trying to get better at that myself. Put on a collared shirt and go to the door and just tell them what your hobby is, because there's untouched fields and foundations on private property, and those are the ones that are going to be your virgin sites. And like we said earlier, if you want to try metal detecting, you don't have to go out and buy $1,000 machine, $2,000 machine. A $300 detector like a Simplex will, get you going good, and, knock on a door of an old house, and, you'll find some old coins that way. And that's the best advice I've been given lately, because like I said, everybody used LiDAR here already. LiDAR has been online for years here. So that's kind of all used up. And, so I also tell people, you got to put in your legwork. We do a lot of hiking in the woods here. The woods are full of old stone walls. We follow the stone walls through the woods. A lot of times they'll lead to an old foundation. So legwork, research, and don't be afraid to ask.
I sometimes will be driving by out in the desert, and I'll see these old farmhouses or something and homesteads, and I think, I wished I had bigger gonads to go up and knock on a door, but I just wished I had somebody with me that would do that, because I can't do that myself. I just can't do that.
No, it's actually good to bring a buddy. If you can find a buddy that's not afraid, you can kind of play off each other. I like bringing a girl with me, because there's some females there's some females here that like to dig. And, you know, a guy and a girl going to the door looks a little less threatening, I think. So
Yeah.
if you go to
Oh,
the
yeah.
door, it's, you know, my name's Bill and this is, you know, Tracy, and we have a hobby, metal detecting, and, you know, and you got to make sure you explain. The first thing they think of is you're going to tear their yard up. So, you know, sometimes I'll actually go to the door with a little trowel and maybe dig a little plug to show them what I'm going to take a little plug of grass here, and we're going to put the plug back, and you won't even know we were here, and we'll show you everything we find. You know,
Yeah.
you get pretty good after a while.
I need a couple girls for my channel to help me grow. So if you got some back there, do you?
Well, when you're on television, they come out of the woodwork.
Oh.
When your TV show gets canceled, they're a little harder to find.
Yeah. Yeah, the worst they could say is no. I remember I was back in Michigan one time with a buddy. We went back there and we were looking for copper artifacts back there. So we're driving around and he stops and he goes up and just gets out of the car, and I'm thinking, what the hell? Does he know these people or something? He goes up there and then he comes back and he says, come on, we're going to go detect their yard. I said, what? He said, yeah, I just went and asked them if I could detect their yard. And they said, sure. I said, you went and asked them that? He said, sure. And I said, man, you got big cojones, buddy, because I couldn't do that.
Yeah. Like I said, you got to find the right. I don't like doing it myself either. So I have a couple of friends that are really good at it. One of my hunting buddy's son, he's in college, and he's a history major at the University of Massachusetts. So that's the spiel he goes to the door with. He says, I'm a college student, I'm studying history, and I like your old house here, and I would love the opportunity to, explore and try my metal detector. And they say, how can they turn down a student studying history, right? So
well,
that guy's success rate was like, 90% or something. How do you turn down a student that says he's interested in history and he loves your house, right?
Yeah, no, I think I'd go up there and knock on the door and say, hi, my name's blah, blah, give him a business card. And I'd say, when did you guys move in this house? And if they said, oh, it was like in, 20 years ago, I'd say, you know what? My grandfather used to live here once upon a time, and he lost his wedding ring. And I'm just wondering if I couldn't maybe, look around and see if I could find his old wedding ring. So
that's not a bad way to do it. Well, there are people, and one of the guys who mentored me, Revolutionary War hunter, he used to go to places, and if he was ever questioned, he always said, I lost my class ring. I'm just looking for my class ring. Well, he's really looking for revolutionary artifacts, maybe in a place that was the state woods or something. And whenever he was questioned, he always said, I'm just looking for my class ring. And they said, oh, okay. Class rings were big back then. And, that's a good tactic to use.
No, there's out, we're in a different state, actually in Utah. What my grandfather used to do, they had this old homestead place. It was a homestead, and there's a rumor that him and my grandma got in a fight one time, and he threw the wedding ring out the window, and he never found it. And, but they don't own that place anymore because whoever has it now, somebody else has it. But I always wished I could go out there and just go say, hey, I'd like to metal detect your yard if I can find this wedding ring.
Well, you can. They might be fascinated with the story and let you do it. I mean, that's not even a lie either. That's a true story.
Yeah. But I don't think there's anything there because there was an old cabin that we went out there one time, but we wasn't looking for that. But they used to do the family reunions out there, and so me and my brother, we hunted all over, and we ended up finding where this homestead site was, but it all had collapsed, and And so one of my aunts and uncle came over, and my uncle was saying, yeah, see if you could find the door, my bedroom door. I carved my initials in this bedroom door. That'd be so cool if you found it, you know. And so we found this old door, and we carved his initials into it. And then we gave it to him. And man, he started crying. He was so happy. And but, anyways, yeah, I'm glad he's not around to hear that story.
Yeah.
All right, Bill. Hey, we'll let you go, man. It's been fun. We appreciate you taking some time out and showing us some of your cool stuff. And
Yeah.
yeah. So
I
hey, we wish
enjoyed talking with you.
hey, we wish you a lot of luck in your future, and hope you find a lot of cool stuff. And we'll have you back on down the road.
And tell any of your viewers to check out my YouTube, Dig Fellas.
Yeah, say that again so they can go subscribe to the channel.
Yep, Dig Fellas, DIG, all one word, Dig Fellas. Instead of Good Fellas, we're the Dig Fellas.
Dig Fellas. Dig Fellas.
You see a lot of the stuff we talked about. I do bottle digging videos. I do fossil hunting videos. You see me digging up some of these bomb videos, and I've got, I think, over 200 videos out there now, so check that out.
Cool, we'll do.
All right, thanks again.
Hey,
I enjoyed it.
Thanks, Bill. Appreciate it.
Take care.
All right, all you guys, take care. We're going to go ahead and take off here, so we want to thank you guys tuning in for another week's episode, so join us again next week. We'll do it again next week. So until then, you guys all take care. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have yourselves a great evening. Be safe out there. Remember, it's a very, very rough world. See you guys. Peace out, man.